You're in the moment. Everything feels right. You're turned on, connected, things are building exactly the way they should. And then suddenly, it's gone. No warning, no clear reason, just like that. Your erection disappears. And in that exact second, something shifts, not just in your body, but in your mind. Because now you're not thinking about pleasure anymore. You're thinking, what just happened? Why now? Is this going to happen again? Is she noticing? And just like that, what started as intimacy turns into pressure. Now here's the part nobody tells you. This doesn't just happen to older men. It doesn't mean something is permanently wrong with you. And it definitely doesn't mean your sex life is over. In fact, this is one of the most common things men experience, but almost nobody talks about it honestly. And the reason it feels so confusing, so frustrating, is because it doesn't feel predictable. Sometimes everything works perfectly. Other times, it doesn't. And that unpredictability, that's what messes with your confidence the most, because now you're not just in the moment anymore. You're watching yourself, monitoring, checking, overthinking. And that's exactly where things start to go wrong. Let me tell you something that might completely change how you see this. Your erection is not controlled by your penis. It's controlled by your brain, your nervous system, your blood vessels, your hormones, all working together at the same time. It's like a chain reaction. And if even one part of that chain is slightly off, the whole thing collapses. It starts in your brain, always. Before anything physical happens, your brain has to feel safe, relaxed, and aroused. That's when your body activates something called your rest and relax system. This is the state your body needs to be in for an erection to happen. Because when you're relaxed, your blood vessels open up. And when they open up, blood flows into your penis. That's what creates an erection, simple in theory, but incredibly sensitive in reality. Because the moment your brain senses stress, pressure, fear, anything like that, it flips a switch, and suddenly your body goes into fight or flight. This is the exact opposite state you need. Your blood vessels tighten, blood flow decreases, and your erection fades. Not because your body failed, but because your brain changed the environment. And here's where it gets really interesting. The first time this happens, it creates a memory, a powerful one. You remember the feeling, the embarrassment, the confusion, the moment you felt like you lost control. And the next time you're in that situation, even if everything is going perfectly, that memory comes back, quietly, subtly. What if it happens again? And that one thought is enough. Because now your brain isn't focused on pleasure anymore. It's focused on performance. You start checking yourself. Am I hard enough? Am I losing it? Is this going to last? And the more you check, the worse it gets. Because you've taken yourself out of the experience and put yourself into your head. This is where a lot of men get stuck. They think the problem is physical, but in many cases, it's this loop. One bad experience turns into anxiety, which creates another bad experience, which reinforces the anxiety. And suddenly, something that happened once starts happening more often, not because your body is broken, but because your brain is trying to protect you. But that's just one piece of the puzzle, because sometimes it's not just your mind. Sometimes your body is trying to tell you something deeper. Think about your blood vessels for a second. The ones in your penis are smaller than the ones in your heart, which means if something is affecting your circulation, your penis will notice first, before your chest hurts, before you feel anything serious. Your erections change. So when you start losing erections, it can actually be an early warning sign. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, blood sugar issues. These don't always show obvious symptoms, but they quietly damage your blood vessels. And when blood flow is affected, your erection is affected. This is why ignoring it is a mistake. Because sometimes this isn't just about sex. It's about your overall health. Now here's another thing most men don't realize. You might not actually be fully aroused. And I know that sounds strange, because in your mind, you feel ready, but your body might not be there yet. A lot of men rush this part. There's this expectation that you should be instantly ready, like flipping a switch. But real arousal doesn't work like that. It builds. It needs time. Mental stimulation, physical stimulation, connection. If you skip that process, you might get a partial erection, and a partial erection is unstable. It doesn't have the pressure or blood flow to sustain itself, so everything feels fine at first. But as things continue, it fades. Not because something is wrong, but because you started before your body was fully ready. And then there's something even more subtle, your sensitivity. Over time, your body changes. Your nerve endings don't respond the same way they used to. So stimulation that once felt intense now feels average. And when your brain isn't getting strong signals, your arousal drops. And when arousal drops, your erection follows. This is why repeating the same patterns over and over can become a problem. Your body adapts, it gets used to it. And what once triggered strong arousal starts to feel less effective. And then there's something most men never even consider: what you're taking every day. Certain medications, completely unrelated to sex, can affect your erections. Antidepressants, blood pressure medications, allergy meds, even treatments for hair loss. And the frustrating part? No one connects the dots. You don't think, this pill is affecting my sex life. You just notice something is different, and you don't know why. And then there's one of the most overlooked causes of all: your sleep. If your sleep is poor, your body doesn't recover properly. Your testosterone drops, your stress hormones rise, your blood vessels don't function as well. And if you have something like sleep apnea, where your breathing stops repeatedly during the night, your body is constantly in stress mode, even while you're asleep. That creates the exact environment that makes erections difficult. So what you're experiencing isn't random. It's not your body betraying you. It's your body responding to everything happening beneath the surface. And here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Losing an erection during sex does not define you. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're broken. And it definitely doesn't mean this is permanent. It means something in the system needs attention. That's it. And the moment you stop seeing it as failure and start seeing it as feedback, everything changes. Because now you're not stuck in shame. You're in control. You can look at your health, your stress, your habits, your mindset. You can slow things down, actually build arousal instead of rushing it. You can get out of your head and back into your body. You can have conversations instead of hiding from them. And if needed, you can get real medical guidance. Because sometimes a small adjustment makes a massive difference. But the worst thing you can do is ignore it, or pretend it doesn't matter, or let one experience define how you see yourself. Because for a lot of men, this is the turning point, not the end. The moment where they stop guessing and finally understand what's actually happening. And once you understand it, you can fix it. You can rebuild confidence. You can enjoy sex again without that constant voice in your head. So if this is something you've experienced, just know this: you're not alone. And more importantly, this is something you can absolutely take control of.